Paul Biya, a name that echoes across Cameroon with both awe and controversy. Born on February 13, 1933, in Vomeka, a remote village in southern Cameroon, Paul Biya climbed the political ladder through the French colonial system. He became prime minister in 1975 and, by 1982, was handpicked as president following the sudden resignation of Amadou Ahidjo. That's over 4 decades ago. Since then, Cameroon has changed. The world has changed, but Paul Biya has remained. At 92 years old, he is now the oldest serving head of state in the world and is preparing to run again in the 2025 elections. While many leaders his age have long retired or passed away, Paul Biya is preparing for another 5 years in power. How has he managed to hold on to power for so long? Let's find out. When Biya first took office in 1982, Cameroon was a one-party state. He promised democratic reform, transparency, and unity. But as the years went by, his presidency transformed from promise to patronage, from reform to repression. In 1992, multi-party politics were introduced, but opposition leaders have consistently accused Biya of rigging elections, suppressing dissent, and undermining democracy. International observers report irregularities, citizens whisper about ballot stuffing, intimidation, and a climate of fear during elections. Paul Biya rarely speaks in public. He often rules from the comfort of Swiss hotels. Yet from a distance, he wields absolute control over the army, judiciary, and electoral commission. His government has been accused of jailing journalists, harassing opposition parties, and using the military to quash protests, especially in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon. Cameroonians have nicknamed him the Ghost President because he is hardly seen, but his influence is everywhere. This election is about more than Paul Biya's age. It's about the soul of Cameroon. The country is battling multiple crises: rising youth unemployment, a slow economy, insurgency from Boko Haram in the north, and the deadly Anglophone conflict in the west. While these problems grow, the man at the top appears detached. Critics say Biya's advanced age and prolonged rule have created a gerontocracy, a government run by the old, for the old, out of touch with the people. Young Cameroonians under 35, who make up over 70% of the population, have never known another president. They've grown up with the same face on their currency, same face on the news, same name on the ballot, and now he's asking them to trust him with another term at 92. Is it a bid for stability, or is it a dangerous obsession with power? Paul Biya is not alone. Africa has seen a pattern: leaders who rise to power and simply refuse to step down. From Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe to Teodoro Obiang in Equatorial Guinea to Yoweri Museveni in Uganda, many have stayed in power for decades, often through constitutional amendments, electoral manipulation, and brute force. But what does this mean for African democracy? Biya's story is a warning. When power is personalized and institutions are weakened, the future of a country becomes tied to the lifespan of one man. What happens when that man is no longer able to lead? What legacy does he leave behind? And most importantly, who dares to speak out in systems built to silence dissent? In the bustling streets of Douala, the markets of Bamenda, and the universities of Yaoundé, a new generation is rising. Young Cameroonians are frustrated. Many are unemployed. Others are disillusioned with politics. But beneath the frustration is a fire, one that seeks change, freedom, and a future worth fighting for. They watch global youth movements online. They dream of leaders who listen, but they face a political system built to exclude them. Every time Paul Biya announces another term, it feels like the door to progress slams shut again. Yet, there's hope. Social media, civic education, grassroots organizing, these are tools the youth are beginning to use. But the road is not easy. Arrests, internet shutdowns, and fear keep many silent. Still, history has shown us no dynasty lasts forever. The world is watching Cameroon. In October 2025, Paul Biya will face the polls again. Opposition parties are scrambling to unite. Civil society groups are pushing for electoral reforms. International observers are preparing to monitor. But many fear that the result is already known. Will Biya win again through the same tactics? Or will the people's voice finally be heard? One thing is certain. This election will define the next chapter in Cameroon's history. It's not just about an old man seeking power. It's about whether democracy can survive when power becomes an addiction. As citizens prepare to vote, one question echoes louder than ever. Is 92 the age of wisdom or the age to walk away? In 1982, Paul Biya became president of Cameroon. In 2025, he's still here, running again. Some call it resilience, others call it tyranny. But in the end, the people must decide. Because democracy is not about how long you rule, it's about who you serve and how you leave. Subscribe for more.